the pundit pit. Yeah, there they are right there.
I had to see.
Hey, smile, you guys. It's Friday. There you go.
I wouldn't say it.
Right back 2 minutes.
You did.
Welcome back. President Obama signs one of his first executive orders shutting down Gitmo within a year. But where will the terrorists go? And shouldn't we have thought of that ahead of time? Our pundit pit has some opinions, I think. Andrea Tanteros did very well in the pre-interview. Contributor FoxNews.com. Rev Al Sharpton doesn't need one. He's always outspoken. Today, he sounds shy. You know, he's president of the National Action Network. Kelly Goff, also in a shell, but will talk for us. Former campaign manager and representative for Carolyn Maloney, so appropriate for our second segment, and author of Party Crashing. And McGraw Milhaven, who drank at my dad's bar and now tells me he was underage, outstanding talk show host, and I'm not kidding.
I have ID to prove I was 21, all right?
Hey, Al, before he signed that the legislation says close Gitmo, should President Obama have thought where the terrorists were going to go?
Well, I mean, first of all, you can't say he doesn't have some plan on where they're going to go. But clearly, I think he is following what he said all along, and the American people voted for, that we need to close this. To stop something wrong, you don't have to say, okay, I'm going to keep doing it wrong until I figure out every angle here. You stop what is absolutely wrong, and the American people back to
Andrea, you buy that?
Not so much. I mean, he still hasn't explained exactly where they're going to go. I think most troubling.
Why did he stop the trials?
Exactly. And the techniques that we used after 9/11 helped prevent a lot of terror attacks in this country. And that was the interrogation tactics that were used at Gitmo on these inmates. This is a foolish move.
Can I just say something really quick, though, Brian? Is that, first of all, I think American voters are relieved when any presidential candidate actually keeps one of the promises that they make on the campaign trail. That's first of all. And second of all, I'm someone who's all for crime and punishment. I mean, I'm from Texas. I'm a death penalty kind of gal. But as far as torture goes, who thinks that it actually works? I mean, if you told me you're going to cut my fingers off if I don't give you information, I'm going to start.
We know
the
lyrics. John McCain had the exact same ideas. John McCain said he was going to close down Gitmo.
But he said,
but he
said, I worked hard to get those trials set up and get agreement on the 2006 trial act.
They delayed the trials for
and nobody wants to see them in civilian court.
And more importantly, the courts said you have to close down Gitmo.
Right.
So Obama's just following what he has to do.
What McCain said last night is you have to come up with a plan to what to do with the 250 before you tell them they can't stay there anymore.
Well, but that's nonsense. To say that you've got to say where you're going to stop something is nonsense. Clearly, they will come up with a plan. Clearly, they have a plan.
You know what the plan is? Jack Murtha's minimum security prison in Pennsylvania, because Jack's going to welcome an open arms.
It's within a year. It's not tomorrow.
We have so much information to break about Caroline Kennedy and what the truth is about the next senator from New York and why it's not her. That story and more with the pundit pit, who are just getting warmed up on Fox and Friends. Clinton will not be the most famous from the most famous family in America, the Kennedy family, Caroline Kennedy. What's the true story and where are we heading with this? Our pundit pit's still here. Andrea Tanteros, Rev Al Sharpton, Kelly Goff, and McGraw Milhaven. First off, Rev Al, you talked to Governor Patterson today. Who leaked the information from the governor's office that it was personal issues that might have stopped this candidacy?
I have no idea who leaked it. I spoke with the governor. He and I talk all the time. And he said that it had absolutely nothing to do with anything but what Caroline Kennedy called him and said she was withdrawn. He said he has no information that would have disqualified her. He did not tell her or anyone else who he was choosing or not choosing, and that this is all a lot of just media hype. He assured me he had no information at all that would have disqualified.
Kelly, two local reporters, New York reporters, got calls from an aide close to the governor who said all these negative things about him. You work for Carolyn Maloney, one of the finalists to get this job if she doesn't get it. What's the truth?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that, when a Clinton can't glide into the White House and Kennedy can't glide into the Senate, that means that change has officially come to America. And with that being said, I think that Caroline is, a fantastic person. But you're correct in that there are candidates with much longer resumes, much more experience. Congresswoman Maloney is certainly one of them. She has a very lengthy list of accomplishments. She just received a high-profile appointment by Nancy Pelosi. But Gillibrand, who's the front runner, is a very scrappy, supported by the NRA. I think she'll vote very well.
Gillibrand is is the selectee. She's not the front runner. She's been selected. I think she will do well. I think she'll move around the state and meet people. I trust Governor Patterson's judgment.
And guess what, McGraw? She's a conservative Democrat. She's pro-gun.
Watching this thing, it's so botched. New York has kicked Illinois off the front page for picking the other senator.
No.
I mean, come on. No. Hey, Blagojevich, not that I'm defending him.
In New York,
you're still governor.
We work to play rather than pay to play.
No one raffled off the New York seat. I think,
Right. Does this open up that seat in a year, do you think, Andrea Tantaros, in New York?
Yeah. The Republicans, I talked to the NRCC the other day. They're getting ready to start a vicious campaign up in New York to win that seat back. But look, Kennedy was never a reasonable pick for Patterson. Here's why. Ask Andrew Cuomo. The power and the heft of the Kennedy family. Cuomo ran for governor of New York in 2002, and he was married to a Kennedy. He only got 15,000 votes on the liberal line.
Right.
So it never politically made any sense for Patterson.
Why did it have to be a woman?
Well, who said he chose her because she's a woman? I think that he wants to make sure that the entire state is included. He went upstate. He got someone that's a little more right of center. I think she'll be great. Yeah, they're gearing up to run against her. They would have run against Kennedy. They would have run against Maloney. I think they'll be beat. I think David Patterson will bring that ticket through.
She'll be tougher to beat, though.
Much tougher.
And I think that this shows Patterson showing some of the Obama savvy of reaching across the aisle, running with an urban center, but also with rural voters, white voters, black
McGraw,
voters.
look at who won in Virginia, a conservative Democrat.
Right.
And that's why people say if you get a conservative Democrat, that might be the perfect mix. That's what Senator Schumer has found.
You also have an unelected governor picking an unelected senator, right? It all goes back to Eliot Spitzer. That's an issue.
And who will be running against an unelected Republican.
Why don't we just forget about elections? Because they can't figure it out when they vote in Minnesota.
But she won a really tough race upstate.
Right.
She knocked off a tough incumbent in a blue-collar town. She got the support of the National Rifle Association. She's going to be a real...
Well, she ran against John Sweeney, so it wasn't exactly... That was a very easy campaign for her to win. That's why I was saying the House race is one to keep an eye on. I think Republicans will get that seat back.
You four people have a lot to say. I'm glad we booked you. All right?
We're really shy.
I know.
Really shy.
The way you started.
We're not playing music in the woods.
Hey, thank you very much. You love my build-up.